Okay, we're on Terumot, Perek Chet, Mishnah Yud Bet, the last Mishnah, Mishnah 12, in the 8th chapter of Terumot. Our Mishnah is a fascinating Mishnah. It might go a little bit long. It looks like a short Mishnah, but it's a continuation of the last Mishnah. If you recall, the last Mishnah talked about a case where a Nachri, a non-Jew, said to a person who was carrying a bunch of kikarot, loaves of Truma. And the Nachri said, "Ten li achad me'em be'etma, give me one of them, ve'imla, and I'm going to make it tameh. Ve'imla, v'harei anu betameh et kula, I'm going to make all of them tameh." And then we had a machlokah between Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yoshua. Rabbi Lezer says, in that case, yitameh et kula. Let the non-Jew does what he does. V'al yiten lo achat me'em v'yitamah. You're not allowed to give over one of them to become tameh. Rabbi Yoshua said, Yaniach lefanav. Rabbi Yoshua agreed that a person can't actively make the bread tameh by giving it to the non-Jew, but rather he should place it before him ala sala, on the rock, place it in front of him, and hopefully the non-Jew, and so you're sort of passively giving him one over, but not actively. Our Mishnah is a continuation, sort of a tragic continuation of that choice, of that dilemma that Jews faced in a very different way. The Mishnah says the following, and then there's like a lot of interesting. There's other sources, and I'm going to share with you about this Mishnah. V'chein nashim she'amru lehem nachrim. Let's say there was a group of women. The non-Jew said to them, "Tnu achat mikem unitameh. Give us one of you, and we will defile her. V'imlav, and if you don't give us one, areinu mitamim et kulchem. We will defile all of you." So it's a terrible choice. Give over one of you and we'll have our way with her, and if not, we're going to defile all of you. What do? Says the Mishnah, everyone agrees, there's no machlok between Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yoshua in this terrible case. Yitamu et kulam, you should defile all of them. They do what they do. V'al yimsu lehem nefesh achat b'Yisrael. We don't turn over one nefesh b'Yisrael. That's that Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Lezer are modeh. We don't turn over a Jewish person. The same is true, let's say, if they say, give us one of you to kill, give us one of you, etc., etc. We're going to see in the Rambam in a second that you don't take an active part in a non-Jew doing terrible things to Jewish people. Rather, they do what they do without us taking part. So I want to share with you, there's a few other sources that appear. The first one I want to share with you, the Kahati brings all of these sources down, so I want to share with you them because they're very relevant to our discussion. The Mishnah seems to take a somewhat, I would say, not liberal isn't the word, but the Mishnah says you're not allowed to be matami out of them. So then the Mishnah doesn't take a liberal, it takes a very harsh stance. So the Braita, this is the Yerushalmi Terumot, Daf Bam Zayin, Perek Chet Halacha Daled. This is our Perek, okay? It appears on Halacha Daled. Tani. So my Yerushalmi is not excellent, but you'll see, you'll get the point. Tani. Siyot b'nei adam sharim halchim baderech. If you had a group of people that were traveling on the road, and obviously this is something the Jews were obviously always in a position of being dominated by the surrounding non-Jews, and they were constantly in danger of being abused. Pagu lehem goyim. So they bumped into a bunch of non-Jews. V'amru, and they said, "Tnu lanu echad mikem v'naharogoto. Give us one of you, and we will kill them. V'im lav harei anu hargim et kulchem. And if not, we'll kill all of one of you. Afilu kulam neheragim lo yimsu nefesh echad b'Yisrael." So the Mishnah says, even if you'll all be killed, you're not allowed to give over a nefesh echad b'Yisrael, and that's pretty much the exact same thing. Al yimsu nefesh echad b'Yisrael. So you're not talking about a case of women, you're talking about a case of non-Jews who want to kill one person. Give us one of you. It's obviously they are trying to demonstrate their dominion over the Jews, and you're not allowed to do that. Okay. Yeah, but the Mishnah, the Braita says the following: Yichdu lahem echad. If they designated one, Kagon Sheva ben Bichri, we're going to see in a second who Sheva ben Bichri is. Okay, so if they designated one, then the Mishnah says Yimsuru Oto, you're allowed to give that person over. V'al Yahargu. Why is Sheva ben Bichri the example? This is Shmuel Bet Perakaf. So the Mishnah says this is after David HaMelech returns to Yerushalayim after the rebellion of Avshalom. They overturned the rebellion of Avshalom. Okay, and David HaMelech is returning to Yerushalayim. We're not going to read the whole parak. Okay, I know there's limits. V'sham nikra ish. There's a short Mishnah here. Nikra ish b'liyalu shmo Sheva ben Bichri ish yimini. There was a man ben Sheva ben Bichri. He was a ish b'liyal. He was a no goodnik. Vayitka b'shofar v'yomer. He says, "Ein lanu chelek b'David v'lo nachalel lanu b'ben Yishai." We don't have any connection to David and Ben Yishai. Ish lo alav Yisrael. Go home. So he's a rabble rouser and a troublemaker, and he tried to stir up rebellion against David HaMelech. And he was Ish Yemini from Binyamin. Remember, the tribe of Binyamin wasn't too keen on David HaMelech in the first place. So in the end, they decided, David HaMelech said, you got to get rid of this guy, Sheva ben Bichri. Sheva ben Bichri ran away, and now Yoab ben Tzruya is running after him. So he ran to a certain city, okay? Vayavo vayatzu ala ba'avela beit moacha vayishpechu solola al ha'ir v'tamod bachel. They laid siege on the city. Okay, v'chol ha'am asher et Yoav mashchitim la'apil ha'choma. They want to destroy the wall of the city. Okay, and they're trying to destroy the city to get Sheva ben Bichri. Vatikra isha chachama min ha'ir, and a very wise woman called to Yoav and said, "What do you want?" Okay, what do you want? Blah 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 blah. And Yoav says, "No, Chalila, im avalai mi mashkin. I don't want to destroy the whole city. Lo chen adavar ki ish mehar Ephraim Sheva ben Bichri shemo." So Sheva ben Bichri raised his hands against Melech David. Tnu oto levado ve'elcha me'al ha'ir. So Yoav ben Tzeruya actually made this exact ultimatum. He said, "Give me Sheva ben Bichri, or I'll destroy the whole city." And she said, "His head is yours," and that's what they did. So Sheva ben Bichri is exactly the example, if they said, "Imsu nichdu lehem echakagon Sheva ben Bichri, yimsuru oto v'al yagu." You can give over Sheva ben Bichri, because Sheva ben Bichri was Amar Rabbi Shua ben Lakish, v'hush yechayav mitah ki Sheva ben Bichri. So Rabbi Shua ben Lakish says it's not that they designated give us Frank. It has to be give us Frank, because Frank is chayav mitah. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Afa Pisha Eno chayav mitah ki Sheva ben Bichri. And Rabbi Yochanan is a machloket between Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. Does the person have to be chayav mitah, or if they say give us one person, if they designate the one person, even though he's not chayav mitah? Okay, so now the Gemara Yerushalmi tells the story. There was a person named Ula bar Kushav. Ula bar Kushav tav'atei malchuta. So the local hegemony claimed him. They wanted to kill him. Arak ve'azalei lelud gabi Rabbi Shimon Levi. So he ran to Lud. It's clear that it's not clear. I don't know. I didn't look into it. It's a Mishnah Shir. I know I'm going long. They claimed, the Malchut claimed, he's obviously wanted for something. Is it legitimate or not? I don't know. Arak ve'azalei lelud. He ran to Lud, Rabbi Shimon Levi. Atun ve'akfun medinata. So the hegemony, they attacked. Amrulo, and they said to them, In let atun yahavun leilan. If you give us this guy. Ula bar Kushav, anam, if you don't give it to him, in let atun yavun le'alanan, if you don't give it to him, mechavin mini dad dininata, we're going to destroy you all. Salak abe Reb Shua ben Levi, so Reb Shua ben Levi went to the hegemony, upaise, he calmed them down, v'yavelon, and he gave him over. Okay, so he gave him over, and they saved the whole, they didn't want the whole country to be destroyed. So the Gemara says the following, so he seems like he did the right thing. Have Eliyahu zachur latov yalif midgale eluye. So Rabbi Shua ben Levi used to have regular meetings with Eliyahu Hanavi. Not you or me, but Rabbi Shua ben Levi had that. V'lo yitgale. So Eliyahu stopped showing up. V'tzam kamat zomin v'yitgale elui. So he fasted a few fasts, and Eliyahu Hanavi came. Amar le. So obviously Rabbi Shua ben Levi said, "Where have you been?" Amar le. V'lu mesarot ani nigle. I don't reveal myself to anybody. I don't reveal myself to a moser. Amar le v'lo Mishnah Siti. He said, "Well, I followed the Breita. The Breita said if he's chayav mitah keshevet ben bichri, I did the right thing." Amar le, Eliyahu Hanavi said, "V'zu Mishnah Chasidim." V'zu Mishnah Chasidim. That's the way righteous people act. Yes, there's a Mishnah, but it's not the right thing to do. The Rambam codifies this halacha. The Rambam says, this is the Rambam in Hilchot Yesodei HaTorah, Perkei Halacha Hey. Nashim shamudem goyim tunu lanu echad michem minitmautchem. Give us one of you and we'll make you tamei. V'im lav nitmaat kucham. And if not, we'll defile all of you. Yitba'u et kulam v'ayim serem nefesh achad b'Yisrael. Then you defile all of them. The goyim do what they do. V'chein, same lear. So that's our Mishnah. This is exactly our Mishnah. V'chein amru lehem goyim tunu lanu echad mehem v'nahargenu v'im lav v'naharguchem. And the same thing is the Breita that in Yerushalmi. Give us one of you to kill, or we'll kill all of you. Yargu kulam v'ayim su nefesh achad Yisrael. Then you kill all of them, and you don't give them one over. V'im yichduhu v'lahem v'amru. If they designated one of them and said, "Tunu lanu ploni ona aroget kulchem." Give us ploni, or we'll kill you all. Im hayam chuyav mitah k'shebet bin bichri. So he passes like the more strict version. If he's chayav mitah like shebet bin bichri, you know all of them, then you can give them over. But the Rambam has the following. Ve'ein marim lahem kein lahachachila. But lahachachila, you don't tell them to do that. I.e., okay, ve'im eino chayav, and if not, yargu kulam. And they're all killed, v'ayim zu nefesh achad Yisrael. So the Rambam, in his saying, ve'ein marim lahem lahachachila, the Rambam is paskening like Eliyahu Hanavi. Zu mishnat chasidim. This is the way you act. This is the appropriate way to act. That's not the way we act. Even if the guy is chayav mitah, we don't give him over. We'll stop here. I'm way over. I know. What can you do? It's a really fascinating topic. At least I find it fascinating. So hopefully you did as well. If you have any comments or questions, email me at arspolter@gmail.com. And we'll dedicate this Mishnah's learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.